Hello, Libby. It's time for another lesson and hope you're having a great day.
It's good to see you.
I am going to have us start today in our lesson book, okay? So if you'll go ahead and open up with me to page 4, then we're going to take a look at that. We're actually going to do a bit of a review. These are things that you have previously done because we had a song in technique the first week that introduced these already. So you'll have an idea about this, but let's talk through it and just make sure we're feeling really comfortable, okay? So as you already know, trying to get that to stay open. As you already know, when you have a half note, of course, plus a quarter note, it's a dotted half note, which gets 3 counts. And just a reminder so that you feel really comfortable, we're just going to do the same thing. In order to create a dotted quarter note, we're going to, out of a quarter note, add a half a count, which is an 8th note, and together that's 1.5 counts, which is a dotted quarter note, right? And here's 2 ways that it could be written. You could have a quarter note tied to an 8th note. That would make a dotted quarter note. And then a second 8th note in a measure or whatever else needed to fill up however many counts we have. But here, of course, is the way that we usually see it and the way you've been seeing it. And that is to have the dotted quarter note, which gets 1 and 2. And then finally, in this particular measure, since we only have 2 counts, we would end the measure with on the and. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and if it continued on. So again, that's just a refresher, but it's a good refresher. And on page 5, they have 4 little pieces, right hand only until the last line, which is a left hand one. They're songs that you're familiar with which utilize that specific rhythm. So we start with Silent Night, and then Deck the Halls, Oh Beautiful for Spacious Skies, and then Here Comes the Bride. So I've, in my music, I've circled the and where that 8th note would come in on my first one, just to kind of view it. Because you know Silent Night so well, you could sing it easily, it makes it very easy to play without even thinking through the rhythm. But let's, for a moment, I'm just going to tap through, and you follow along in your music with me if you would, while I do so. So we're going, and I'll sing it too. So would be, let me find the right note. There we go. So silent night. You know what? I totally didn't do that on the counts. Let me just count it I sang the right song, right? But I'm going to do it with just counts instead of the words. It'll make it easier for our purposes. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So again, that's just helping you see through that. Let me do it with Deck the Halls. Follow along on your music. You don't need to play it yet. So I'm going to not say the words again. I'll use the timing, even though I don't have it written out here. So we'd go. This now is in 4 times. We've got 4 beats per measure, whereas here we only had 3. So we'll count to 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 yeah. Okay, now, you know what? I didn't realize somehow that the left hand actually does start playing here on Oh Beautiful for Spacious Skies. And at the end, we have the right hand in addition, okay? So let me play that note nice and low. Okay, this one, of course, is a pickup note, and you're familiar with those. So this would start on count 4, and then we'd start on count 1 for our first note of this measure. So this will be count 4. Ready? And I'll just say it out loud. 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, and finally, Here Comes the Bride, also in 4/4 time. Would be the note. Of course, I'm not going to sing down that low, but I'll sing it higher. But that would be the note you'd be playing it on. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 Okay, so I've now gone through those, and what I would like for you to do is to just play through those. You don't need to practice them a lot through the week. It's a kind of like a warm-up in a sense a bit to your lesson, or at least just a study guide and a study practice to do a couple of times during this week, just to get continuously more familiar with playing the dotted quarter note and then moving on to an eighth note after. Okay, so again, you know those songs, you know how they sound. They tell us what position we're in. So middle D position means our thumb is going to be on D so that our third finger can be on F. You know what middle C position is. That's the one where we share, because we do have a little bit in our left hand right here where our thumbs are going to share middle C. Back to middle D position, so our thumbs will share D since we do have bass clef and treble here. And then low G position, left hand only, down there, okay? So you'll be able to go through those just fine. I'll play through them quickly, then you pause the video and play through them yourself, okay? So starting on number 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay, now I'm moving to middle C position. I'm starting Deck the Halls. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, moving to middle D position, thumbs on D, starting the left hand, oh beautiful. 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Then we have a rest on 4. And finally down to low G position with our left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, go ahead and pause and play through that and then turn to page 6. Okay, so page 6, we are going to start this piece, Alouette. And Alouette, I am sure that you're familiar with. Let's see, Alouette, jante, Alouette, Alouette, jante, poupere, or something like that. That's totally wrong. My girls used to sing it when they were little. You'd think I'd know the real French, the way to say it in French, but I sure don't. Okay, but you'll notice then that we have, of course, that same rhythm because we're trying to learn more about that, right? Let's notice a few things more about this song while I have the music up here. Okay, we start out forte. We're soft at piano over here. We have a crescendo and a decrescendo there. Back to loud, and we've got 4 accents in a row in both the right hand and a left hand there. And then we end softly, okay? And you'll notice we also have all of these slurred measures so that it's nice and smooth in between those, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you try it line at a time at home. So we're going to go through a little bit of a practice session, and I'll tell you to pause here and there and practice. I don't know if your computer is near your piano or not, so that may or may not work for you. You do what works. You'll find a way that's a good system for you. But that's how I'll say and suggest to do it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're in the key of C. So both hands are up, and we'll start I'll leave my left hand up here for a moment, but I'm just going to start with my right hand sight reading through that first line. So we'll go a little bit slow. It does say allegro, but obviously we're not going to start with allegro, right? Okay, so it starts on middle C with our thumb. Okay, so first line is all I'm going to do. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and rest and soft and 3. I'm going to finish with the second line, first measure, because it completes our thought, doesn't it? Otherwise it doesn't sound quite finished. So you go ahead and pause and play through that. Now let's try the left hand there, and you can play it several times when you pause it. You don't have to just play once. Play till you feel comfortable. Left hand plays now. We're starting on a C chord without the third, so it's just our 1 and 5. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and second, hold a third. tricky, right? Okay, pause and practice through that and come back and we'll do right and left there. Okay, now let's put right hand and left hand together, and you'll practice this several times once you pause it as well. But I'll play it just once for now. Here we go. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all right, go ahead and pause and play that till you feel comfortable. You can always come back and rewind it and play it with me too if you want, if that helps. Now let's go on to the next the next 4 measures is what we're going to do. So it's the last measure of the second line and the first 2 measures of line 3. So our left hand is going to start us out, and all it's doing is playing up the scale, and then the right hand comes down the scale. And you can read this very easily, I'm confident. Starting on our 5th finger on C, we play up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now our accents are bigger. Okay, so there's the sound for you. You go ahead and pause and play that a couple of times and come back. Okay, now the very ending of the song, you already know because we've already done it. It's just like the beginning. Okay, so go ahead now and just play through that part because you won't need to, like I said, you won't need to rehearse it so much. All right, now I'm going to play the entire song, and then I want you to practice the entire song as well at home after you pause it. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and play it up to tempo. Ready, and... All right, great. You go ahead and get comfortable with that song. Now you can always do something like 1 line at a time or one of those sections at a time that we discussed, and do 1 section each day and then put the whole song together at the end of the week if it works better for you. There's all kinds of ways you can approach this. All right, we're going to go on now to technique book, and I'm actually going to leave this up here because for our lesson today, our technique book is associated with this page. It's page 3 in technique. You'll notice the first song is Hello, Hello, Gentle Alouette. And then the second one, Busy, Busy, Busy Bird. They actually both have a really nice sound to them that is similar to Alouette. So when we learn these, I'm going to actually have you then go back and play Alouette, and we're going to include these in the middle of Alouette, and it will make one long, interesting, kind of fun song. All right, so let's just take a look here quickly. We're going back and forth between the right hand and the left hand. We are in the C position. Now, when we're doing just technique, there is a repeat at the end, and we'll have you take that repeat when you're practicing just your technique book. We won't when we combine it with Alouette. Okay, and we've got these slurs going from the right hand to the left hand here and back and forth as well, okay? All right, so I'm going to sight read through it, and then you pause and sight read through it as well. I will take it, I'm going to take it with both hands, so I'm going to go nice and slow. And then that way you can do it slowly too. Do notice as well, on the second time when you repeat, it is an octave higher, 8 VA. And likewise on the second time here, it's an octave higher. Okay. All right, so going nice and slow, I'll put both hands together at the same time. Starting with letter C, Hello, Hello, Gentle Alouette. Starting on my thumb on middle C. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, and then you would, of course, while you're practicing it, go up here. Now, I actually didn't play it as slowly as I meant to, sorry, but when you're practicing it, go ahead and go as slow as you need to until you're ready to play it a little more at the same tempo that you will eventually get Alouette. Okay? So pause and practice through that one. Then come back and we'll do letter D. And now this one you'll probably want to do a different day of the week. Okay? All right, so D is also on middle C position. And again, for the repeat, we move up as well. And you'll notice it's likewise going up and down the scale, which is partially the same way we did it. It's pretty much actually is the same way we did it in the middle of Alouette. We also have a crescendo going up, and then the second measure is a decrescendo coming down. Then it goes up again and back down. So lots of movement in this piece. Okay, so I will play it through, and then will you pause and practice that several times until you feel more comfortable? Here we go. Okay, same as before, I played that faster than I would like you to start. And again, I recommend you do that on a separate day, but however you want is perfectly good. Now for the combination, as we put it together with Alouette. So, let me see if I can hold these both up to the camera at the same time I can if I bend them. Now, you can actually play with this and do this in several different ways as to your liking. So it's a fun time for you to experiment. So I'm going to try and hold these with one hand so I can point with the other. So you'll put, in fact, let me switch it like this. This is the way I would put it on my keyboard. If I can hold it though. There we go. Okay. So you could do something like this, playing Alouette, jante Alouette, da 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 da. Da 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 da, and then go on to here rather than going to the ending here. Go on to C. Da 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 da, right? Da 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 da, and then you could come back and do something like coming back to Alouette here if you wanted. Da 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 da. Then go on to D. Da 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 da. And then the contrary motion with your hands. You'd finish this one up, and then you'd probably come back to this again. Da, because you want to end with this piece somehow. Da 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 da. So there's an idea. You could also do something like play the beginning till you finish this da 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 and go to this one instead, which is kind of just like the middle part there. So you could even leave this whole middle part out and just go straight to this one. Da 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 da. I'll go fast in my singing. Da 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 da. And then together. And then come back here and then play right from here. Da 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 and go to the ending. Da 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 da. Then come up here. Da 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 and so forth, finishing that one. And then come back here for the ending. Does that make sense? I know I did that kind of fast. So let me play. I'm going to play it that second way that I just suggested. Hopefully I remember as I'm going through what I wrote down to do. And I won't go super fast. And it makes it a little bit of a long song, but like I say, I think it's kind of fun. So this is how I would, like I say, this is that second way. Come up with it, whatever you want. Try several things. Okay, so there's an option. Like I say, you play around with it, make it fun, and make it your own. And so that's our good combination for this week of those two books. All right. Okay, then let's take a moment of a break, and we're going to go through your 5 finger positions. So last week we did C, G, D, and A. Hopefully you were able to get those copied and so forth. And that, just as a reminder, if this will focus, it's these pages. And look for the number, because the number is what coordinates with the order that we're going in. So here we've got C and G on this page, but it's a different page that has D, and now we're going to add A, okay? All right, so when we do it, we're going to take the repeats, and we're going to make it as if it's one kind of a continual exercise when you get comfortable. At the beginning, just take your pattern as many times as you need to till you're comfortable. I should put it up here on the piano, just in case, so I don't pretend I have it the pattern memorized. But anyway, so I'll play it through, I'll do a repeat, and then I'll go on to G, and then on to D, and then on to A, just to demonstrate. And then at home, you pause it at that point, and you go ahead and go practice. And you could do one of those each day. You could practice just C one day, then G one day, then D one day, then A one day, and then towards the end of the week, practice them all together for several days. Okay, but here they are. I'll do them all together. And I'm only going to do, let me check my time here. I will go ahead and take the repeats. It'll make it sound a little bit longer, but here's an idea. When you feel comfortable later during the week, come back and play the video again and try playing it along with me. And we'll see if we can keep together with that rhythm. That could be a good exercise for you to try. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and count before in case you do come back so that you'll know how it will flow and feel the rhythm. 1 and 2 and. I am positive, I can tell for sure that I sped up during that. So that is my, I shouldn't have done that. I should have put on a metronome. I kind of get going and I'm not thinking about my rhythm as carefully as I should have. So if that's too fast, I'm sorry. You just listen and then just play it on your own. All right, let's go ahead now and focus on our recital book for the last little bit. And so in recital, you may still be working on page 2 and 3, which is perfectly fine. If you're still working through that, that is great. You continue to do so and continue to review the first video if you need to for directions on that, okay? Let me just point out and mention a couple of things for page 2 and 3 if you are still working to finish it. The things, of course, you're going to continue to concentrate on us in particular, if it's what you're working on still, is the accents that you have, the pedal, times where the pedal come in, and of course the dynamics, right, to create the sound that you want to hear. So if this takes and needs more time, please do that. That's more important to get this really good and feel really comfortable than it is to go on. But we're going to go ahead and start page 4 in case you are ready. And if for some reason you're so ready to go on and you're able, by all means, finish page 4 and 5. That would be perfectly great, okay? But we are going to focus right here, right now, on the first 2 lines, which also happen to be the same. Let me double check over here. Make sure I don't say it wrong. This line right here is also the same as this line over here. So once we have it, we'll have this one And then this is similar, but it's just playing it in your left hand instead of in the right hand. And then we have a little bit of a different ending. Okay. All right. So let me bring this back. It does say allegro. So we'll try to work to get it faster. And we are in the C position, and we do have staccatos. We still have some accents like we often do. We are taking this second line an octave higher. And over here, if you get to this point, the right hand goes an octave higher for the very ending, whereas the left, oh, you know what? Just noticed, I have to back up to see it. But the left hand on this very last line goes down an octave higher for the entire left hand line, last line, okay? All right, so just like we did in your lesson book, let's practice a little bit of this at a time. That doesn't want to stay for me. Okay, all right, let's put our right hand on the C position, and I will play through it, and you follow along in your music while I am playing, and then pause the video and you practice it, okay? All right, so I'm going to count to about this speed. 1 and 2 and 3, and here we go. And 2 and 3 and 4, and now accent and short, short, hold it off. Okay, there's our first line. Will you go ahead and pause and practice that? Okay, coming back, the left hand, it's going to have an easier time. We've got a fifth and a fourth and a second and a third all the way within that first line, okay, and quite a few rests and an accent on the last one. So starting out with our fifth and then all those rests. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rest and rest and rest. Okay, now go ahead and try that one several times and then come back. Okay, now both hands together there. We'll still remain going slow for now. All right, so here's our tempo. 1 and 2 and ready, play. Okay, all right. Now you practice that. Get as comfortable as you can, take as many times as you need to, and when you've got it, then just practice moving from this C position up to this C position. Oh, yep, it's both hands, so that's right. Here to here without playing a thing. Just get really comfortable with those hands moving. In fact, sometimes it's good to move them like as really quick as you can, like this. Then slowly go back. Move them up, and slowly go back. One more time. Move them up, slowly go back. Okay, that helps. So that way, our hands are going to be conditioned to know right where we're going to go. And then we start this second line soft. I'm going to go ahead and just play it through with both hands together because we've already practiced it, so you'll already know it. All right, here it goes. Ready, and. Okay, feel free to practice and then put both of those two lines together while and practice that till you're comfortable. Okay, now as we already mentioned, the second to last line of the song is the same as the first line of the song. So you've already got that. Now let's look just at the very last line of the piece. Okay, and as we already showed you, it was in the C position, of course, prior, and then what happens is the left hand is going to go down to the lower C position. It's going to be soft, and then when the right hand finally comes in on that second to last measure, it will be up an octave as well, okay? So I'll put my hands back here. I'm going to move them down, and it's the same melody that you've heard the right hand play. It just goes ready, and 1 and 2 and it is soft. play that staccato like I should have. So let me play that last little part again. Oh, it's loud too. See what things I notice when I look closely? Okay, here we go. Let's try that again. Okay, so when you take this apart, I want you to just practice moving down and then moving down and starting to go ahead and play and so forth. And then I want you to practice moving from here, just getting that right hand up, because it's going up to the G position, by the way, which it states. It says that right above there, but it goes up not just to the C position, but all the way up to the higher G position for those last 3 notes in the right hand, okay? So again, practice going up there, and then practice just those last, the last 2 measures, which will, just the part where the right hand and left hand come in together. Practice those several times together before you try the whole last line. And just repeat it. Okay? All right, let me play that whole last line again. I will have been in this position. You can get ready, and I'll finish. In fact, I'll go to the last measure of the second to last line and finish that. Oops, I forgot to pause, sorry, or rest there, sorry, rest. My bad. I was just ready to go in with that same rhythm that we've already had. All right, there is your lesson for the week. Like I said, feel free to divide it up over many days of working on different parts, because you can always come back to the video and just follow along little increments at a time. Okay, best of luck. We'll see ya.